Hello, and welcome to this new podcast series called Chargicast here on the Just Like Cooper YouTube channel. We're going to jump right into it today, and let's start talking about why Pokemon Scarlet and Violet packs are so much more expensive in English than Japanese. And is this a good way you could save money and complete those art sets, or is it a way that you can get to invest? Let's start talking about it. Some reasons. First, we got to go over why Japanese is so cheap. The first reason is guaranteed pull rates. Guaranteed pull rates make it so every pack you get, you have at least a hit, an EX or better. As you can see here, it says EX. The problem with this is that if there's a hit in every pack, then every pack becomes less valuable because you might as well just have the cards than be able to get the hit in each pack. If you think about it, there's 36 packs in a box. If you get 36 hits in a box, that makes each of those hit, and the hits are all the same value. Those hits that are each the same value doesn't make the pack worth more or less. Basically, English ones are not guaranteed hits. So you get a holo in every hit, in every pack, but you do not get an EX or better, making the packs worth more to open because worth more to not open, so sealed is worth more than open cards. That's why Japanese, the cards are worth similar to the actual card prices because there's only 5 cards in a pack and each pack has a hit no matter what. So it's really just not worth opening. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is in the original Japanese set, but I know in special sets like the Shining Fates set for Japanese, put on screen a picture of that, is you get a hit in every pack, which makes those cheaper than English ones. But moving on, print volume. Japanese cards are printed a lot more because Japan is where Pokemon was originally founded. And when they founded it there, they printed a lot more. Like the original sets from base set. The Japanese base set was printed before the English one and was obviously printed more because they stopped around the same time, but started first. The English market just doesn't want Japanese cards. And the English market is where the majority of the market comes from. You really only are buying Japanese cards if you want the artwork for cheaper. Because you can't read, you can't play them. There's really no point of having the Japanese ones if you could have the English ones for the same price. That's why Japanese are so much cheaper. Moving on, we're going to be talking about Sun and Moon Unified Minds. Here's where it gets interesting. As you can see here, Unified Minds Miracle Twin, which is the Japanese version of Unified Minds, goes for around $1,000 a box. We'll call it that. But then when you see here, you can see it's slowly gone up and up over the years. This is fascinating because you can see in the Japanese one, it doesn't just go straight up right here. It slowly curves up. Whereas Unified Minds, which is around $3,000 a box at the moment, it goes up, it just booms. It wasn't doing great, it wasn't doing bad, but it went from $800 all the way to $3,000 in the matter of a year, which is unheard of for almost anything in stocks. So this is a fascinating concept that I find interesting. It is very interesting. I think this has to do with tag teams. People didn't even know what tag teams were until 2025, 2026, which you can kind of see here. That's when it boomed because I think they've almost been considered gold stars. When gold stars first became rare, they just boomed. They weren't rare for so long, and then it just, boom, goes to the holy grail because people realize they can't get them anymore. They're exclusive. They're out of print, everything like that. Moving on, let's go to, if you're wanting to sell Japanese singles, be realistic. You're not going to be able to sell any basic singles like the ones I'm showing you on screen right now because they're just not what people buy. Vendors aren't going to be able to sell these cards if you sell them to them, so they're not going to be able to make money, which is the reason they're able to stay open. They need to make profit for them to continue selling cards to other people and spreading joy across the Pokemon community. So if you want to sell to them, I recommend selling Japanese exclusive cards like this Cramount you see right here. It'll just keep going up, but if you want to sell Japanese, I recommend selling Grails like this or the Eevee Heroes. Umbreon is also a very good option if you have one, or even a Poncho Pikachu, because Poncho Pikachus are not necessarily a cap of how expensive they're going to get, but people are going to stop being able to afford the more and more expensive Ponchos. So I recommend selling them sooner than later and maybe buying something that's undervalued like Sun and Moon product. Sun and Moon product is just going to keep going up. And if you have it, hold on to it. It's crazy how much it's going to go up. I recommend holding on to your Sun and Moon. And the Japanese Pokemon card market isn't broken. It's just you have to look at it a different way than English. Moving on. Now, I'm going to be talking about one of my experiences with Japanese cards and the market. So, as you can see here, the Japanese PSA 10 Blastoise goes for about $250, and the English one goes for about $660. Now, as you can probably tell, that's a major difference. That's more than twice the price of a Japanese one is an English one. And are words really worth almost $300 more? I don't think so, but vendors do. They will buy English ones instantly because the demand is so high. And the Japanese ones, like this Blastoise right here, $250, is like nothing, is nothing compared to the first one. And people, they still won't buy it. The same artwork, the same card, different language. It's confusing, but that's how I first learned about the Japanese cards being so different than the English ones. I've also learned that you can buy an entire set, all three, the Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, all PSA 10s, for the same price as an English PSA 10. The Charizard is actually more. How does that make sense? It shouldn't make sense, but here it is. This has always been interesting to me because Japanese cards have such beautiful artwork and their back is so pretty, and the English ones are all just the same as the Japanese ones. And of all things, Japanese ones have more rare variants of cards like Japanese exclusives, like the Poncho Pikachus I showed earlier. That was my personal experience. Moving on. If you're looking to buy or sell Japanese singles, I recommend online. I recommend eBay because you can get great deals for buying, like this Tentacool at $2 for a shiny full art, or this promo campaign Japanese single, only $46. If that was an American one, it'd be a lot more than that, and it's official. And make sure that when you are looking for singles, you turn off authentically guarantee, not because this is a bad idea, but the authenticity guarantee makes it so you have to pay extra, whereas the regular ones give smaller people a chance and you can report them if they scam you, and it helps the whole community out. This Rayquaza is only $106, which is crazy cheap. And now let's talk about collect what makes you happy. I believe in collecting things like Radiant Charjabugs or even Radiant Charjabug sleeves. If that's what you like to collect, go ahead, collect it. You can really collect whatever cards you want. And the thing about it is if you collect a card that you undervalue, for example, this Radiant Charjabug, if it was in a 10, and a year ago, I remember it being like $10 in a 10. You can even get this one for $30 in a Gem Mint 10 for Japanese. If you know that card's worth more to you, that means it's going to eventually be worth more to other people. It's good to collect what you like because someday other people will probably like it too, and they'll regret not collecting it. So just collect what you believe is the most worth collecting for you. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. I can't wait to see you guys all in the next episode. Peace.